questions from you because it is a live interactive session. And by this time, you have come to know that how it should be, because perhaps from the NPTEL team, which supports all these programs so nicely, that they must have told you in advance how you can interact with us in this kind of live session. It is not only in this course, in any course of the NPTEL, this type of interactive sessions are there at least once or twice or maybe thrice during the course period. So what I was expecting that some questions may be available, but so far I have seen someone like Mr. Andreas Dimpa. He might be from some industry, has written that when the certificate will be given. I hope you can contact NPTEL directly. They can, because our job is to teach you, and certification question, then exam, all these are their job, and they do it very very systematically, and perhaps without any without any error. It's almost error free. So from the thermodynamics point of view, I cannot say it is 100%, because that means efficiency is one, which is not possible, as you know, from Carnot and many other. So I am not saying that it is, but it is almost close to 0.999 as much you can say. However, then someone like Anand V, Mr. Anand V, is also a student. He wanted to know what is the future of food in India. In this regard, I can chat a little, definitely, not little, because this is endless. Because you also know very well that you can live without many things, but you cannot live without oxygen, you cannot live without food. These two are absolutely mandatory for any living system. So, whether it is a micro or macro, any organism needs this basic two. One is the oxygen for respiration, and another is food for uh, your sustainability, growth, sustainability, everything together. So, food is definitely today or tomorrow or in the past, all time food has its own value, because it is independent of whether you are rich, whether you are poor, whether you are knowledgeable, whether you are illiterate, doesn't matter, everybody needs it, right? Yeah, it may be some exotic food for some rich people, or it may be only minimum for the poorest people. But irrespective of that, it can be said that food has to have by everybody. There is no alternative to that as of now, right? You cannot say, I cannot say that tomorrow is again when is not predictable, like that at this very moment, COVID, when it will be away from the earth, that is also not predictable at this very moment. like that. It is not exactly predictable that when it will be. But if someday it happens that you have taken a spoon of something, another spoon of something, or a third spoon of something, and then your entire requirement by the body is, as far as energy is concerned, is supplemented. That may happen some or other day. Of course, it does not matter because by evolution, your body system has become such that your stomach, that is that reactor, that is bioreactor, that needs something continuously to work with. So for that, that dumping or whatever unnecessary things required, that may be required to be consumed. If, as I said, those three spoons are good enough to supply you required energy for the day, right? Like as now computer and then your mobile and so many gadgets. They have improved so much, but one thing is very certain that whenever you are working with desktop or laptop, whatever, the size of the keyboard cannot be less than your finger size, right? Yes, in the past there are many such devices those came up. People tried with some sticks and other did not work, right? So that minimum thing, the keyboard size, dependent on your finger, you can make the present whatever is there 70-60% of that at the most, but you cannot make less than that. Similarly, if I say that if you are supplied with some 1, 2, 3 spoons of something which gives you the energy for the day, does not mean that your stomach will remain idle. So it needs something because your appetite may not be there. But what is required that the stomach has to be filled, otherwise what it will do? As you know that in your body system there is also acidity which is a very high acidic, around 2 normal acidity of hydrochloric acid. So that will that is there for digestion, for breaking into smaller particles, what you have consumed as food, right? So from that point of view, as you said, what is the future of food in India? There is that is simply it can be said that sky is the limit, right? I don't know whether you have seen very old movie like Charlie Chaplin. There is a gold rush move, right? That tells that when people are hungry, then to the extent of chewing or trying to bite on the sole of the shoe and others, to that extent people may do go when it is not available. Right? So hunger is such a thing. So that is why too, and day by day the population density of the world is going up. It's not going down, it's going up. And since it is going up, as well the cultivable land is also going down. Your population density is going up, cultivable land is going down. So the wastage has to be minimized as much as possible. Otherwise, you cannot cater all the people, all over the world, all the time. Right? So that is why if you say that what is the future of food in India, I would say that sky is the limit, and anything you can dream, anything you can imagine. There were in the past many such, uh, what should I say, many such revolution, white revolution, green revolution, these have come up. So you can also try and do a similar kind of thing, which will make that there will be no human being left without food, right? So that is entirely onto you. So that is why I say the sky is the limit. Okay, and then another person, Mr. Devakanto, who said, when your exam date or something. So again, that is beyond me because that is handled by NPT, right? That is handled by NPTL, right?
Sir, please mute your YouTube, sir.
Okay. So another thing which I would like to say here, what is that new? Okay. You see, somebody like someone like Malaya Mamta. Hi, sir. Uh, Thermal operations mean how it should be used in food processing, right? I can tell you that thermal processing, how it would be used in food processing. You start from your home. Can you keep one day, your mummy or whosoever is cooking, that please don't go to the kitchen and don't do anything. We will not buy from outside also, but we'll have food, right? Yes, there are some food you can, like some fruits, etc., etc., some processed food, but can it be for the entire day unless yes you say that yes I'll do some or other way that you can do in one day something like that, right? You have already stored some food which are consumable, but you just think right in the early morning your mummy took some milk and she started heating it. Otherwise, that milk will become spoiled. You start from there, right? And go to any extent. So, wherever any heat treatment is there, that is thermal processing. Any heat treatment you are incurring, that is thermal processing. So, it is all the time associated with you, right? Okay, then some Ritesh Jaiswal said, "Good afternoon, sir. Please explain transfer heat transfer by conduction. Oh, transient heat transfer by conduction." Okay, transient heat transfer by conduction. This can be said. I gave this example of milk heating, right? I don't know whether you have at your home any. thermometer which is not used for medical purposes. Any other thermometer having, say, more than 100-degree graduation, right? If you have, then I gave the example of milk heating by your mummy or somebody who is doing the kitchen work, that during the heating of the milk, you dip that thermometer into the milk. You will see milk which was at around plus minus 4 degrees centigrade. Plus minus means maybe a little low or little up, depending on how you have kept. So you take that milk and your mummy has started heating it, maybe directly with burner oven or some other means, whatever be the means. You keep that thermometer on the milk and you see that the temperature is now started raising from say 5 degrees centigrade, then 10, then 15, then 20, then 30, 40, 50, 60. And by the time mummy started this thing at 7 o'clock in the morning, 7:00 means 7:00 means 6 minute 59 second, 6 morning 6 a.m. 59 second, 59 minutes and 60 seconds, right? So 7:00 she started, and by this time I said no 5, 10, 20, blah blah all these. So it took maybe 7 5, 7:05 or 7:06, like that. 5 6 minutes or 3 4 minutes have already elapsed, right? So during this time your mummy has given some quantum of heat to the milk by some means, maybe as I said by oven or gas oven or electrical heating devices. Many are there nowadays, right? So during this period, the temperature which was increasing until it reached the boiling point 100 degrees centigrade when milk started really boiling and dancing into that milk. You'll see that bubbles are dancing, right? This change during this period is known as transient, right? Where the rate of change of temperature is a function of time, right? Rate of change of temperature is a function of time. It is not independent of time. But when it reached 100 degrees centigrade, right? So as much you heat, of course, another thing comes up, you will say, sir, you said like this. No, because when you are hitting, when she was hitting, some vapors are coming out. That means some water is getting out of milk. So the remaining concentration of milk is going up. So the boiling point may not be at 100. It will go on increasing from the Raoult's law, right? But for all practical purposes, if we assume that it was at 100 degrees centigrade and maybe for again couple of minutes she heated it up and it did not change though she was heating. But initially from the zeroth time it went on changing. So till it, then the second part is known as steady state when it is 100 degree. Even after heating it is not changing. But when it was from zeroth time reaching till 100 degree, this is called transient heating or which is dependent on time, right? So Ritesh, then I have said this. Okay, then who are Little Star? I have no idea. But how this course is beneficial for our GATE examination preparation. Better I cannot say that because GATE examination is or the questions which are given in the GATE that I have no idea. Nobody can tell it till you appear in the exam. Right? Obviously, there is no ambiguity in this that there, as in the past we have seen, that there are always some or other questions which are associated with thermal processing. Obviously, right? So it is directly linked to that, but I cannot say, nobody can say that it will come in the GATE exam because that entirely depends on the then that year who are the question setters, who are modifiers, who are the chairman, etc. So please don't, but definitely this will enrich your knowledge base. Right. Then Ritesh Jaiswal, method of food preservation. Yeah, there are n number of methods of food preservation. Thermal processing is one of them. Right, thermal processing is one of them. There are n numbers of so even thermal non-thermal processing of food preservation is also there. So it is not that only thermal is the preservation method. There are non-thermal processing also. Right? So let me see others. And Ritesh Joshua again said, explain pinned surfaces. Okay. I hope you have seen your mummy or elder sister or grandma. They are using churi, or what we call brangle or whatever. Right? So they are using here like this. Okay. Now, okay, instead of saying your mummy or grandmom or somebody, if you can see it here, that in my hand there are some ropes or whatever you can call. So they are tied here. Okay, this is because my hand is somewhat like circular, a little less. It's not exactly, but a little like that. That those brangles and other thing, as I'm saying, they are all circular, obviously, right? The main purpose of this uh, pinning or pin surface is that you are extending the surface area available for heat transfer, right? Q is equals to UA delta T, right? Or even conduction also their area is there, right? In Fourier's law, you have seen that area is there. So if the heat transfer area available is not sufficient, then what you do? You extend or you try to increase the area available for heat transfer, right? Obviously, as you have seen that in your house, the weakest boy or child or girl, whosoever be, the weakest person is given most attention, maybe paid with many things, and the strongest person may not be to that extent. Right here also, when heat is being transferred, so the surface which has heat transfer less, for whatever be the reason, to increase that heat transfer, one of the method is to increase the surface area, because U, A, delta T, all three are there. So you can increase U, you can increase A, you can increase delta T also. Right? Keeping that U and delta T identical, then if you increase A, then also you can increase Q. That's what this extended surface or feed surface does. So you are increasing the surface area for heat transfer by pinning that surface or adding some pins. Right? Then again some little sister. Who is that little sister? I have no idea. Message retracted. No, I have no idea. No more. No more questions I can see from here. Okay. No more questions I can see from here. So we can say that whatever questions you had raised, I was expecting some real question which obviously will force us to think a little more and then reply. I hope if you have not understood it yet, then please go through the course. I tried my level best to make you understand with all kinds of examples and other things, with problems, solutions, numbers, numericals, everything. So please go through the course, and it's not that you just listen and copy or do something. You just understand. Understanding is the primary thing. Right? If you understand, nobody can beat you. But if you don't understand, then please raise your voice, raise your question. We are always there to help you to the best extent we can, and we'll try our best. Right? So hopefully next time when all of you are joining me, at least you will have, by this time you have already some weeks of courses going on, so many weeks are left. So please go through the course in detail, and anytime if you feel uncomfortable with the subject or with the topic or anything which comes in your mind which is related or may not be related, you have, if you go through the course entirely, at the end you will see that, you will realize also that it is not always I had pinpointed only to the course. I tried to give as much as associated with the course, right? Directly or indirectly. So in that case, your best thing is, please go through the course in detail and understand it properly. Okay, I hope you are doing fairly well, and you will do very good in the exams, right? And certification will be done by NPTEL. can contact them directly. They will let you know when the certification will be done or when the exam. Perhaps exam date is fixed by this time, and you also know. So somebody said that when the exam is, please you can contact the NPTEL team. They will let you know. Okay. So with this, I hope there is no further question. As I have seen, there is no further question. I tried to answer all of you, and then if there is no further question coming up, I feel I can stop it now. Is not it? I feel I can stop it now. And thank you all for carefully listening. But again, I pray one thing, please study and study and study. Okay? Thank you very much.
Sir, you can stop now.
Yeah.
Yeah, just a minute, sir. Just 30 second wait.
Okay.